Hey guys, I decided to record a deep dive video because my video on the layoff in Germany is really having a lot of likes, and I would like you guys to profit from the experience that I've had. So, the layoff that I'm talking about happened in 2025 in Berlin in an EdTech company, and it's my personal experience, and I hope it's helpful for you. So, what's very important that you know is that my company is huge and it has a works council. And Works Council, Betriebsrat in German, it is a great thing to have, but ultimately you're on your own because even though, yeah, they are there and they have your best interest, the company has economics to run. And if they really want to terminate your contract, they will. And so the Works Council can write an objection, but they cannot really save you or anything. So, in my personal experience, great to have them. Are they a game changer? Not really. So, even if you have it, it's nice to have, but they will not change the game. So, the timeline. My company announced a layoff, which people kind of already knew it was coming in November, and in April, the last terminations came through. That means it took them half a year to actually pull this off. I hope that your company is not as crazy as mine, because half a year, am I going, am I staying, is quite tough. And we had three phases. The first phase was the voluntary leaver program, where you go voluntarily, and it's what it was sold. And the second phase was you've been approached by the company and encouraged into signing the mutual agreements. And then the third phase, well, there have been terminations. And yeah, before we go into details on each phase and how exactly they did it and how exactly they tricked people, how they sold it, I would like to go over those terms here, terms in German. So, Aufhebungsvertrag, this is a mutual agreement which you sign with the company saying that I am ready to go. And then there is a Kündigung, which is a termination notice. You are being basically let go. Abwicklungsvereinbarung. This is something that they want you to sign after your contract has been terminated, meaning it's called a winding up agreement. And you basically sign there that you will not sue. You don't have to. You don't have to sign shit. Agentur für Arbeit is the Federal Employment Agency in Germany, and ALG-1 or Arbeitslosengeld is your unemployment benefits. And if you worked in Germany for over 12 months, you are eligible to get state support after you've been fired or let go. And you are entitled to this. It's not a benefit, it's a security, it's an insurance that you've been paying. And you're entitled for this. Maximum amount of this is 12 months. And you get 16% of your average salary from the last 12 months. And Sperre is something, it's a block of unemployment benefits. And it usually happens if you sign a mutual agreement or you sign a winding up agreement. Basically, every time you sign anything, the Federal Employment Agency can block your benefits. And usually they block 3 months. So instead of getting 12 months, you will get 9 months of unemployment benefit support. So now let's talk more about how my company did it. So phase one, they labeled this as the voluntary leaver program. So what they did was offer everybody who wanted to leave a bonus. It was like 15K and then 7.5K, I think, the next month. And it's a brutto amount, so it's not a netto amount. So in Germany, cut off 40% of it, so it's netto. And around 200 people left in this first phase. And first phase was you apply for it, and if the company is okay with you leaving, basically saying, okay, he's not a super relevant or she's not a super relevant worker, she can go, you leave. Remember here, if the company is selling you this, they know that you most likely will get this block of benefits. So what happens is that they tell you that they're going to design this agreement this way that you will not get blocked. They will sell you whatever. It's not necessarily true. It's a luck thing whether you'll get the block or not. I have a recommendation here. If you really want to sign it, then I suggest you go to your doctors and you say, damn, this job's driving me insane. And the doctor could sign your note saying, hey, I am really recommending this patient to quit his job. And then you are most likely safe because literally the doctor is telling you to leave the job. Phase two. This is where your directors, your line managers, whoever is reaching out to you directly, and basically they are pressuring you into signing the mutual agreement. And it's the interest of the company. They need people to leave voluntarily so that people don't sue them. And yeah, around 100 people left here too. And this is where I was also approached, and I've gotten some pretty nasty emails, not nasty, but like pressure me saying, yeah, termination is going to be so bad. And the thing is, it's all a lie. And I'm going to tell you later why it's all a lie. Um, they're telling you that you absolutely have to, and it's going to be better. They are only thinking about their own interests, and what you should do is think about your own interests. Yeah, here you sign it, you might get a block, and you could get a note from the doctor. And don't necessarily believe what they're saying. You could speak to your works council, you can speak to your lawyer, but don't trust anything that they're saying at this point because they have their own company's targets to hit, which is not to have people not to have to terminate people's contracts, but to actually have them sign things. This way they're safe. And the third phase, which is the most fun one, these are where people gotten termination notices. And I think it was only 12. And most of those people who have gotten terminations, they have gotten objections from the Works Council because it's only 12 people, and most likely they would have found a position for those people. For example, in my case, I've had fantastic performance reviews, everything was great, but they need to cut the cost. And if you are the like if you make the most amount of money or you just structurally don't make sense anymore, they will try to make you sign things. And what's important here is that it's never really personal, so please don't take it personal. I've had the most brilliant people who were asked to leave. It didn't make sense to me, but then you just start realizing, okay, they have to save money. And so if you make more money than the rest of the team, you might be the one to go. And also what's happening here is called the Sozialauswahl, so it's the social balance interest. So if you have people on the team who are in the same position and they are older or they have a disability or they've been with the company longer, most likely they will stay, even if their performance is shit, even if they're on development plan, they will be kept because it's way harder for a company to justify that they let someone go. They have to say, hey, we let this person go, and this person doesn't have a disability. This person is, I don't know, 30 years old, but for that we kept somebody who is 60 and has a disability. And performance doesn't play any role here. Just saying. And watch out after this. Even after they fire you, they might lure you into signing up the winding up agreement, the Abwicklungsvereinbarung. And this is there, they lure you in with a higher settlement which is a lie, because I mean, you will get, by law, you will get a settlement. And but there you sign it and you kind of just, you let it go. Also here, watch out. Like if you want to sue them and get a higher severance package, you don't sign shit. And ideally, if you have insurance, it's best. You just go. It's a Kündigungsschutzklage. And what happens is usually you get a higher settlement. And if you have insurance, it's the best. If you don't, it's also fine. I spoke to some lawyers and they just had like a success shared rate or a fixed rate, like 500 euros, or they will take like 10% of whatever it is they want for you. So if you gotten a higher severance, they get a part of it. So you can, like, even if you don't have insurance, you're fine. You can still sue them. But the question here is, if works council have an objection and the company, if you go and sue them and then the lawsuit, they say, okay, we don't want a lawsuit, you just stay, the company will most likely put you in some team where you don't want to be. And you might get stuck in a really random role and the company will just keep on bullying you to leave. So that's not great. And here is the very interesting part, is like, it depends how desperate you are to keep the job, so like, really, do you need this, and how desperate are you? Will you be okay without a job? Because you could, like, they could keep you, and after a lawsuit is usually not so great. And so what I really want to tell you here is that check how you're feeling, like how are you doing mentally. Can you see yourself going through this process and staying sane, because your mental health is absolute priority? Because those people, they want you gone, and it's not a nice position to be in. So if you're struggling mentally, just sign whatever and just get the fuck out. Save yourself. And companies and HR people, they just, if they don't lie, they just hide stuff, they pressure you. It's not a nice process to go through. And also, you need to understand that after a company goes through crap like this, you're usually staying in an extremely stormy company, storming teams, not understanding shit, and brilliant people have left. It's like, it's weird. And if you feel that you are done with this bullshit, leave. Choose yourself. uh, yeah. And what I would also like to share with you here is that you got to do the math. The company will not do you the math. They would say, hey, it's a great bonus if you sign the mutual agreement now, and it's so awesome. And just sign the mutual agreement. It's a great deal. Do the math. Don't trust them. And so what I did here is, like, you can use that. Here are no numbers here. But for example, you have your options. You take the lump sum or you take extended tenure, and then literally you calculate all your paychecks, you calculate what would happen if you take the lump sum or the extended tenure. You calculate what it is they're selling you with a great bonus of when you're leaving. Because ultimately, I did the math here, and like, you should always think, okay, you're losing 3 months of unemployment benefits. It's also important. And yeah, do this kind of math. And for example, here you also see how some of my colleagues did it. You calculate how much money you're going to get, because they are not telling you they're not telling you how long it will be taking. They sometimes, maybe they don't know, but usually they just straight out lie because they want you to leave. But you have your 3 months after you've gotten your termination rate, so you're still collecting money. And it's usually 10K more if you just stay throughout the entire process. And you need to understand, okay, how much is my insurance? And if I check this and if I take that, what will make sense to me? So do the math yourself and make sure that the math is mathing, and don't trust the company because what they're selling you as a great bonus. Well, it's not. You got to think about yourself. If you got the mental stability and the resilience to go through this and be okay with the fact that you might stay or you might go, do the math. And if the math says I'd rather have a termination and take a higher paycheck, take a higher severance, awesome. And if you can, just sign whatever because you come first. And I think that's it. And I hope it's helpful. If you have questions, please ask me. After this glorious layoff, I am right now really don't want a job. So I'm not looking for a job. I'm helping people like myself to set up their independent business, digital product business, coaching, how to transition from employee to founder. It's quite interesting. Yeah, and it's like my fifth video, so please be kind. And I hope it was helpful.